So I got a comment from a man that's saying that if you want to be a wife, you need to act like one. And I agree, that definitely helps your case and encourages him to see you in that type of light. But I know from experience, it's not always foolproof. And some men genuinely do not want to get married, or they may have some underlying issues that make them not want to commit in that way. And while this can be completely valid, I think it's important to be honest with women about this, that some men genuinely do not want to get married, and if it's a deal breaker for them, they may need to move on. I cooked and cleaned for my ex for years, but he didn't want to get married, and he didn't exactly tell me that either. He told me he did want to marry me, and he proposed and everything. So there was no reason for me to believe otherwise other than his actions that he was showing me, which I eventually found out he was just cheating on me for years, and that was a hard wake-up call for me. I personally feel like there's more men out there who are just honest and straightforward, and sometimes women just aren't listening. But there are some cases where a man genuinely is stringing you along. And with women only being able to have kids for so long, they need to take that timeline kind of seriously. Especially if they want more than one kid, it's going to take even more time to have those kids. I think more women need to be upfront and honest about these conversations, even from the start. There's nothing wrong with telling a man that you're going on some dates with that your goal is to one day get married. And that means something to you, that's really important to you. A man who isn't against getting married isn't going to be afraid of you saying that. As long as you're not all creepy about it and you're like, oh, I want to marry you tomorrow, and you just met the guy. Don't be weird about it, but don't keep it to yourself either. Some women keep it to themselves because they're afraid to bring up the conversation, and they finally bring up the conversation, and turns out this man has no intention on ever getting married, and they're not a good fit for each other.